Ceistreatána cad na baistis atá go rion maidir le bunú gailscoileanna agus gailcholáiste agus cad na crítear a thugann sibh san áireamh leis an íonna.
Bhfuil an buchas go bháil leis an teachta ó Cuív a socht éir de haingt an éileh atá idachas lá gailge faoi láthair. Mar ara idachas tasíon uimse a cinú go néon for sa láthair chuid a ghuineoga míon lo a gcuid idachas a áil trí bhean gailge. Mar cuid den strátéis fithe blion den gailge tá me rain tomanta de dhéisne a chruthú conan idachas lá gailge a leathnú lesmod an gailtocht. Tá sé seo ag dul raig I ggóhéas na bhógraí maidir le bunú 17 scoil nua ón bhliain 2020. Tugann an próisis atá ann chun patrúnat na scoilna nua seo a chocrú éard le do bhunú gailscoilena, gailcholáistí agus éanad lán gailge. In order to plan for school provision and analyse the relevant demographic data, the Department divides the country into 314 school planning areas and uses a geographical information system using data from a range of sources, including child benefit and school enrolment data, to identify where the pressure for school places across the country arises. Where demographic data indicate that additional provision is required, the delivery of such additional provision is dependent on the particular circumstances of each case and may be provided through utilising existing unused capacity, extending the capacity of the school, or provision of a new school or schools. A patronage process is run after it has been decided, based on demographic analysis, that a new school is required. The patronage process is open to all patrons and prospective patrons. Parental preferences, as well as other considerations such as the extent of diversity of provision in an area, are key to the decision-making process. Such analysis impacts on whether at post-primary level a school would take the form of an Irish medium gailcholáiste or whether, if English medium, the school would include an Irish medium unit. Where there is demand for an Irish medium school, but not at the 600 to 1,000 pupil level, a lower threshold of 400 students may apply to gailcholáistí. Alternatively, an Irish medium éanad may be established. In 2019, measures were announced to increase access to Irish medium education as part of the patronage process for primary schools, including that 5 new primary schools being established from 2020 have been designated for Irish medium education. Outside of the patronage process for new schools, it is also possible for any post-primary school patron to contact the department with a view to establishing an éanad. As regards the new policy for Irish medium education outside the Gaeltacht, public consultation concluded on June 30th.
Thank you. Deputy Ó Cuív.
There's a lot of information there. So you mentioned 47 new schools. How many of those schools were either a gailscoil or a gailcholáiste? The second thing is you mentioned the figure 400 for the setting up of a gailcholáiste. Can you tell me the difference in the criteria between setting up a gailcholáiste and an éanad in the Scoil Bhéarla?
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
You're correct, Deputy. Where there is a desire to set up a school, the normal criteria is that it should have between 600 and 1,000 pupil level available to it within the community. However, for the gailcholáiste, 400 is required. The éanad is actually open to any school is entitled to approach the department with the request to establish an éanad within the existing school. And I know and I accept, Deputy, that it is not everybody's preference in terms of the éanad, but I do think, and we had this discussion previously at committee, I do think there's opportunities maybe for us to look at how éanads could be supported in schools, how the differentiation between the main school and the éanad could work. But I also want to say that the strategy which is currently being worked upon for Gaeilge Lasmod and Gaeltacht, that a key focus of that, a singular focus, a key focus of it is how to best support the growth of the Gaelscoilena and the gailcholáiste.
Deputy Ó Cuív.
The department keep quoting this figure of 47. What I'm trying to find out is how many of those schools were Gaelscoilena or gailcholáiste. That's number one point. And it's a specific, because I think some, including myself, got fooled when the 47 was mentioned that they were all gailscoilena and gailcholáiste, but I don't think they were. The second thing is, has any study been done on the linguistic effectiveness of the éanad versus the gailcholáiste, and whether they actually deliver what is the desire of the parents would deliver, i.e. an Irish-speaking school community? So I was just wondering, if it hasn't been done, would you commission a study on the effectiveness? And the third part of the question, if the Chair gives me a little bit of indulgence, is do I understand that Éamon are only set up at the request of a school, not at the request of parents that aren't in the school? In other words, it would be the existing school population, including the school and the parents of the children there, but not other people in the community who might like Irish language education.
Thanks very much, Deputy. And I'm going to take the last one first, if you like. The Department has a huge openness to working with anybody, and where there would be seen to be an interest and an enthusiasm to establish the Éamon. In the first instance, obviously, the school itself can approach the Department. But if there is within an area and not associated with the school, I'd like to think that there would be an openness in terms of collaboration for all of us to work together. If there's a need identified in an area, that we could all work together, maybe to source an appropriate school or whatever the case might be. We want this to work, Deputy, so we will take a very open and very flexible approach, but obviously we would need the cooperation of everybody within the education sector within an immediate area as well to support it. But we will take a very very proactive and very definite approach where we include as many people as possible. In terms of the Éamon, I just want to say from my own experience, I'm aware, even within my own constituency, of where schools started out as an Éamon and then have developed actually into the Gael Coláiste, and indeed we've seen that across the country. I'm going to come back to you on the study. For example, I'm saying to you that the part of the strategy very specifically is looking at ways of maybe supporting the Éamon, supporting the Gael Scoil, supporting the Gael Coláiste. So that's very much intrinsic in the strategy, and I'm happy to do any body of work that might be required. I'll come back to you on the 47 because I don't want to set you astray. Yeah, okay.
Move on.